Okay, I don't think this one will be too long. There wasn't too much to discuss, so Vanilla comes back from Tribal, and Dave is basically commenting about voting out CC that it had to be done, but it was kind of obvious that there really wouldn't be that much to discuss for this tribe. It was more of what would be happening if they lost again, even though odds are it would be just Chris and Zeke deciding who they were going to vote out to would David play as idol. So moving on from that bit, then we have the interesting bit where, contrary to what I said in the last week's video, the idol on the Green Tribe is found by Jay and Will, even though Jay's the real person who we figured would find it anyway, because, well, they seem to be shafting in the edit. Odd, because I thought that there was a little bit of, mystery around him. It's odd. Oh, whatever, I'm not too picky about it. We still got a long ways to go here, and he'll matter somehow, either in the game dynamics or his vote at the end, so, yeah. Because right now I'm betting against him making it as a finalist, but, man, it's not too hard to be a finalist in the game of odds, yeah, so. Right, but then Michaela catches them in the act and they're celebrating, making it a lot harder for Jay to perform any more dirty deeds, yeah. And it's going to be interesting to see when she makes a big move in this game, because given her character dynamic, strong-willed, very opinionated, I think that's the right word, she's going to have to do something eventually. The question is how is it going to work for her and the people around her? I really want to see what this move of hers is going to be. We'll see eventually, although we might have to wait until the merge, which will be 2 more rounds unless somebody gets pulled, yeah, because after we have 2 more people with this free tribe format, we'll be down to 12 people, so then they'll probably merge then, because I can't see them doing a late merge anymore. Right. And then that reward challenge, that was a good reward challenge, a very interesting combination of the previous blind leading the blind challenges that we've had before, and then making it a lot harder to do the puzzle at the end, even though the pieces weren't double-sided, but I don't think Survivor does that too often. Heck, the only time I think the pieces were double-sided that I could think of was Guatemala in the final 4, but then you had 3 images to choose from. So the results of that challenge, I had kind of expected the Green Tribe to triumph, but I did want a Vanilla to triumph over the Purple Tribe, just because, as I stated last week, I had originally wanted Purple Tribe to lose, but Vanilla did so bad in the challenge that I shifted my wanting to see lose to them, but yeah, I didn't want this to be a repeat of episodes 3 and 4 this season and just be kind of depressing and the same social dynamics that we've kind of seen so far. These new tribes, all the social dynamics are much more interesting, so let's see a little bit more of that. Okay. And that's about all I can say of the challenge, that I was glad Vanilla triumphed over Purple, although it was kind of interesting that when they were showing little shots of the Purple Tribe's puzzle, they didn't linger on them, because usually when a tribe has something wrong with their puzzle, they point out the error to us, but here they didn't do it as much, so it was tough to figure out exactly what was wrong. That kind of got to me. I like knowing that stuff. Hannah's panic attack, I can't speak too much about it, except I think Survivor has possibly relaxed the rules about panic attacks as time has gone on, because I wouldn't be too surprised if when they started they were going to say, if you have panic attacks, we'd rather you not be on here, but sometime before Fiji, they probably relaxed that rule because the 20th contestant on Fiji withdrew because of a panic attack. And I seriously can't believe that this hasn't happened before. I just think it's happened a lot more miniature, and probably the contestants themselves helped the other people. Oh wait, actually it has happened before, except there was somebody in the challenge, Austin and Pearl Islands and Tasha, Cambodia, right? And then we've got the little sayings that Figgy and Michelle did at the challenge, which goes to reference something that I mentioned last week, that maybe honesty is beginning to mean more and more. And I'm surprised that they didn't do the hashtag "the truth works well" or TTWW. That'll never stick, not at all, man. And no, I'm not really too big on all these hashtags, even though a couple of them I think are worthy of a chuckle. That, I don't know if it was totally worthy of a chuckle, because that was kind of Will Ferrell humor. Right, but it does go to the show that I'm probably right in that if Anua does go back to Tribal, Michelle's probably going to be booted, right? But that did give me more reference to want to see the Purple Tribe lose at that immunity challenge. And again, they squandered to a huge lead, although that was mostly thanks to McKay and her brash attitude of, oh yeah, you got the numbers, work it out, even though Taylor didn't really do anything to help his cause because he's acting like a little bit of a goofball. Right. So after Purple lost, yes, it comes down to the situation that we all knew was going to happen. Adam has to decide if he's going to stick with the Millennials or the power couple, or vote out the power couple. Even though I think last episode did have a tiny bit of a hint that Figgy was possibly considering turning on Taylor, although in her exit interview she revealed that she actually didn't want to vote out Ken, she actually wanted to vote out Jessica. Interesting there, but every person out there, I think, seemed to be predicting that Adam was going to break up the power couple. The question was which member of the power couple was going to be going, and in the end they decided to vote out Figgy. And at first I didn't totally like that, because I felt like you might have been able to work Figgy a little bit, but then I realized with the next time bit that if Taylor is just going to lash out, oh yeah, all of you, you're dead to me, in a way he's actually screwing himself over, and Dalton Ross brought up an interesting point. If the Millennials just stay against the Gen Xers, chances are Adam is still going to be on the bottom of the Millennials tribe. Yeah, so in a way, the decision was kind of made for him. Yeah, definitely. I thought there was one other thing I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, Taylor's comment about, oh yeah, the Millennials have the majority once we get to the merge already, guaranteed. Not really, because if we're going to assume that the merge happens at 12, if every person that leaves from now on is a millennial, it'll be an even count of Gen X versus millennials, and that Gen X versus millennials, it's not holding true anymore. Not to say that it could reform a little bit, given how in Cambodia it was originally Takeo against Bayon, and then when the merge started, it arguably was just a definition of Bayon, kind of got lost in the transition, but you know what I mean? Right. So, yeah. And then as for the next week, Bickle, let's just see what happens in that field, huh? Well, if this will show, though, I think will show when Trump loses immunity, it'll be interesting.